this sort of Illuminati umbrella in which all these Grand Masters of the various rites could meet up. I decided to go when they wanted me to infiltrate my wife's family organization, which is a Muslim organization that has nothing to do with these crooks and is connected to Fethullah Gulen, and the father of my wife, who was called Abdullah Suslu, who died in 1999, he was one of the founders of this movement, and it's a very respected movement, and Turkey at the moment is a very key place for the Illuminati. In fact, only today the President of Italy met with the Turkish President, only a few days after the President of Italy spoke about this New World Order and saying that to the Vatican he was feeling in tune with the Pope when he said this. Did you know that, Greg?
No, I didn't know that. It's interesting. Say, let me mention one thing, okay? If we have some number of callers that probably want to talk to you. We're going to take some calls later on. Kathy from Illinois is on the line. We'll get to her in a moment at the next half hour, so you'll line Kathy. But let me give out the phone number, 800-313-9443. If you want to learn about the real story about Freemasonry and Illuminati, you got the guy on the line today, Lyon Zagami. Leo, tell us about your background so they know who you are.
So basically I was chosen amongst very few of my, there's very few people of my age who have a preparation of my kind within the order concerning the history of the order. So I was an historian that they very much used to, because it's very important for these various orders to give themselves the legitimacy. So creating a history is one, and knowing the history of all these orders and all these Illuminati and how they are interconnected is a very important part of the game. Also, controlling the people below. So I was chosen because of my aristocratic bloodline, which is connected to both from my father's side to Don Ciccio Labruto Di Gregorio, my great-grandmother, the Marchesa Di Gregorio, and also my grandfather, who was a Lion cousin of the Queen Mother. My grandfather actually had a very peculiar story because he married my grandmother, and then after when he divorced, he actually fell in love with a direct cousin of the Queen. And then this direct cousin of the Queen wanted to marry my grandfather, but unfortunately the Queen didn't give the permission. So that evil old Queen did something very wrong to my grandfather. I will never forgive her for that. So because he was a divorcee, she didn't give the permission for my father. Even obviously they were cousins, but distant cousins, so they could marry. And but unfortunately, as I said, the Queen didn't want my grandfather. He was a divorcee, even if he was a relative himself.
So your roots, your family roots on... Go ahead.
So my roots are within the Lyon family, Lady and Lord Strathmore. It goes back 1,000 years in the Lyon family. We find many characters. Also Macbeth was, for example, in the Lyon family because he was in the family with other Scottish kings. And
Neil, hold it right there, okay? We're going to take a break back in 3 minutes on the Investigative Journal, and I'm going to ask you listeners out there, to take a financial stand for freedom. I am totally listener or reader supported, and I'm going to ask you to make a stand and go to my website at www.arcticbeacon.com and push one of those donation buttons and help me out, $5, $10, $15. And if you call or say you're listening to the Investigative Journal, and you heard this announcement, and you've donated more than $25, I'll give you a free Terry Lee video or CD regarding how to become a sovereign citizen. So go to my website and help with the cause of freedom, because freedom isn't free. And I'll tell you what, it's hard enough to get the truth out, but it's tougher to finance it. So we're going to try our best to keep this show moving in the right direction. That's towards truth, and I know you listeners will help. Let me go right to the phone lines. Kathy in Illinois has been holding. Kathy, do you have a question for my guest?
Yes, I was wondering if he thought that the New World Order, whether he thinks the New World Order will go forward, or if he thinks maybe it can be stopped.
Well, the New World Order can't be stopped at present because it's the will of God to bring everything into chaos chaos and destruction before the coming back of the Messiah. They're actually accelerating the times by doing what they're doing, but this is written. They are following the prophecies from the dark side. So the prophecies from the dark side are the same as the prophecies from the light side. They will combine one day when finally the truth will be revealed to mankind about the technology of God, as we said in previous episodes with Greg. I think that today we see people like Solana meeting with Puppet Master Kissinger and deciding things behind closed doors. I think that in 10 years that will not be possible, frankly, anymore, because we are going towards a world of transparency. So once things will start to fall down for this system, there will be a big confrontation, and that big confrontation will be the fact that people will be seeing through very clearly who they have in front, and they will be not happy about who they have in front. So the Illuminati are preparing for this. The Vatican is preparing for this. The Zionists are preparing for this. They're preparing a cap, a structure of protection, a criminal structure of protection where everybody that gets caught saying something will be punished. And it's very reasonable to think that these concentration camps are being prepared all over the United States. And I was not surprised to hear that it involves also Norwegian soldiers that are very happily to be involved in this coming martial law in the United States, because they've been trained for this kind of thing, with the subversives that we are. So one day we will have to fight for our freedom, and for that reason, me and Greg have decided in the coming months to tour the United States with some conferences. And I think Greg agrees that it's very important to get the word out there. So it's important that we go out and spread this word. What do you think, Greg?
No, it's a great idea, and we're going to put those particulars together because I think the information that you bring is so vital that people need to hear it hear it up close and personal. And I really want to get involved with you on that. And I think that goes hand in hand with a project that I've been working on, a one-man show to expose the Illuminati. And I think together it would be just a very, very, very good venue.
Because you also have to have a sense of humor of the whole thing. The enemy can be defeated also with a smile in the face, because they are so ridiculous that they should be defeated with a smile in the face,
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that's a good idea. Kathy, did that answer your question? Do you have anything else you want to ask Leo?
No, thank you.
Okay, Kathy, that was Kathy in Illinois. Call back anytime. Leo, let's get back to your roots. Okay,
yes, my roots also from my Di Gregorio family, the Sicilian part, come from Germany. It's actually a very ancient line that starts in the year 1000, and it was the Emperor Frederick II who brought with him the Barons Di Gregorio down to Sicily and gave them, obviously, the lands. So they came down from this Onofrio Bolzani, who was the general of the Emperor Eric I, and for his services to the Emperor, he was first made Baron of the Empire, and then he has a symbol in all the big German structures that they were building at that time. So we have actually even my symbol of the Di Gregorio family in the Cathedral of Cologne. You can go nowadays and go and check it for yourself. It's on the ground. I checked it myself. You just go on the ground there and you're going to find it. It's a seal made of black and silver. It's a kind of two E's joining. It's like a very simple symbol, because the more simple they were, and the more basic they are, the symbols then they mean more power for who is in charge. If you have a lot of little things on it, then it's not so powerful.
So basically, as a young man, also as a young boy, you were working in the Vatican, correct? Tell us about your background, how you got to understand what was going on there.
Yes, I was picked up at the age of 10 to work for the Vatican radio and do some radio show for kids. Then I was serving mass regularly from the age of 10 to 13, because it was my will to become acquainted with the radio business, but the priest wanted me to do first training as a service in the church. So
Okay.
I had my first radio show when I was only 13 on a Sunday, and I started my career with Don Mario Pieracci, which is now Monsignor Mario Pieracci, which is in charge of the youth in the